Somebody gotta get out here. Yeah. And be motherfucking talking about this shit, you feel? Everybody can't be at the studio.
Everybody, you feel? That's what I be telling them. Even when, I was rapping shit, I'm just trying to do my tracks, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm not listening to a producer with the beats.
Yeah.
Ain't no need for me to be up in there, man.
When they working, ain't no doubt.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to learn how to do it. For real. Oh, yeah. Man, the nigga told the time we're gonna fly that goddamn fast. That's why I remember y'all used to be all down there crucial. I was telling son today, man. We be down there cruising, loyalty. You be down there. Yeah. Mob Tide. Mm-hmm. Deep down there. King Dave.
Yep.
Be deep down there.
There's one thing, man, like from the grind now to back then, man, that shit was crazy, bro. It was fun, though. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can get across on the internet now to get what you need, and you ain't even got to put in that work, like, you know what I'm saying? We had to put in work, you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
Times just have changed, you know what I'm saying? I think it has made the artist a little bit lazy, bro.
Yeah, I think it's some out there that bit that bug. Mm-hmm. But
Welcome to another episode.
I feel like them goddamn feet still gotta beat them streets.
Yeah.
And them the one that gonna ultimately win. They can work that. Mm-hmm. Got the people that working them buttons and in the street.
Team Elmore Management. Yeah. And of course,
I think we started.
The coffin lady, TS2, Threat to Society. Y'all know that, I'm telling you, man, we're going to have a great interview. We got the homie Sammy No-Nos over there. We got K1, the videographer over there. We got Herman in the thing. We got the legendary Scott in this thing. You know what I'm saying? And of course, myself, Khalid, I cut Slanger, Benny Mac. I'm going to come behind the camera because I'm half-ass clean today. Let's go.
Let's get it started.
Let's go.
Joker!
Hey, you feel me? They still know me by the Joker, man.
No
so many names out here right now.
What's going on? Hey, well, like I said, this Barbershop Stories, the podcast, episode 55. 55 staying alive. That used to be the old speed limit. If anybody remember. And of course, we're here with Joker, TS2, Threat to Society. We got Alicia's Coffee. Yeah. We got Team Elmore Management. She work with artists. Then, of course, we got my homie over here.
No.
That's right.
In the building always.
That's right. Well, shit, we'll jump right on into it. What's going on with you?
Home cooking.
Just working, man. That's what I was over here telling No-Nos, man. Just been working, trying to just stay out the way of what's going on, in the streets. But other than that, pushing this coffee and pushing these artists, man.
Okay, so hold on. So when you say pushing that coffee, you know what I mean? Some people say pushing that coffee, they be talking about that shit gonna see the prison. I know you ain't. You know what I'm saying?
This ain't the one.
So tell them what you're talking about, like with the coffee, because that's a unique thing as far as a business venture to go off into. What you got going on with the coffee?
So me and my business partner, Rock Reels, we actually purchased a coffee bean, from Brazil. And that's how really it started off, man. We tasted a lot of coffee. Actually, coffee that you drink in the morning, Americans drinking, not the illegal stuff. Mm-hmm. But got into the coffee. Now we have 3 blends, Costa Rican, Colombian, and Brazil blend. So we just out here trying to do something different, and we bring the coffee experience to you. You go to the coffee shops with the cafe with the free Wi-Fi and all that, but our coffee experience is a little bit different.
Mm-hmm. So far as with going off into the coffee, shout out to Rock Reels too. He shot a lot of my videos for them HSAs, hood service announcement. Look for those coming to a hood near you soon. You can also go to the YouTube and just look up Barbershop Stores, or just look up Benny Mac, or simply look up HSA. So what got you off into that? Like, what was the inspiration to say, I'm finna go from everything else I've been doing over into coffee?
It's like, in the entertainment business, you always have different ventures, restaurants, clothing stores, liquor, Boosie got water and stuff like that. And I'm a coffee drinker. I drink coffee since I was in high school, spending money on coffee. My friends drink coffee. I know people that drink coffee, so it was just one of those lines. Let's do something different because everybody, is doing the liquor or the clothes. Even though we got certain type of merch and stuff like that, I didn't want to get heavy into the clothing line. But on coffee is different, man, and the discussions and the stories you have over coffee, a little bit different than you have over liquor and stuff like that. So, man. Coffee is next to water.
And see, that's interesting you say that because I know people that are huge coffee drinkers, like they can't function without a cup of coffee.
That's what I was going to say. You always start your day with a cup of coffee, man. Yeah. Some people end their day with a cup of coffee.
The best part of waking up, Alicia in your cup.
Hey, you feel me? I'm glad you had put that in there.
Them other folks ain't talking about that shit. We can't get them to come down, huh?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. And our coffee, man, tastes better. Even though I'm the owner and saying this, man, we have reviews. We have people of all races that taste the coffee and they can tell you that it tastes better. One thing that separates our coffee from everybody else is not a crasher, and it doesn't leave that bitter aftertaste that you have when you drink coffee. And you don't need much sugar or cream.
Yeah, that's interesting now because I'm not a big coffee drinker, but considering being at V94.9 Home Team Morning Show, I drink a cup every morning because I get up at 3:45, 4 o'clock every morning. So I take one just to stay, stay good. But I definitely would invest in Alicia's coffee for real.
Yeah, you got to taste it, man. We got the K-Cups, the pods, and stuff coming in a couple of weeks. Right now, like our Colombian is a whole bean, the Brazil, and the Costa Rican is a grounded coffee. So,
So now I guess that semi-answered my question, what I was about to ask you. But what's the difference in Colombian, Brazilian, Costa Rican, and Birminghamian? Like, what's the difference between,
it's
those
like
coffee, like the taste?
The altitude that the beans are grown in, a lot of people don't know, like, coffee comes from a cherry, like a normal cherry, but you plant these trees, and, sometimes, man, it take a year to get the great coffee bean, but once the cherry goes through like the system of growing and molding out, and then you got your coffee bean. And like each coffee
that's something.
Hey, that's history 101 up in here. I'm like first time hearing that all my life. As popular as coffee is. And once drank it, you know what I'm saying, when I worked outside about 3 years.
That's why I had that sweet taste to it, you know what I'm saying, to it.
Okay.
Our roasting process is different from a lot of Colombian and Costa Rican. That's why you can taste the flavor. Like our Brazilian is grinded with nuts and berries. And then the Costa Rican has like a caramel taste. And it's a dark roast, but most dark roasts have like leave a heavy taste. And it's ours don't. All the blends are the same. It's real smooth. We get people because we give out sample bags too to doctors' offices, wherever. Somebody want to try it, that's our thing. Like, we'll let you try it before you buy it. And what coffee company is doing it? Nobody, but Alicia's Coffee. But they'll hit us back and want to purchase it, or they tell us a story about it. We ask them to leave reviews and stuff on the page, so we get a great review.
That's interesting because that's one thing I know we offer here at this barbershop. Like in the mornings, free coffee.
Yeah.
So we'd love to have Alicia's in here.
Hey, I was just finna say, man, we'll come down here, we'll set it up and serve it to them. You know what I'm saying?
What you doing Saturday?
We'll be here. We'll pull up. Just let me know what time.
We open up at 6 a.m. because we offer it, and then believe it or not, I serve with raw brown sugar too. Okay. So we'll love you to come in and help market, promote, and boost the business. You know what I'm saying? We love working with millionaires and future millionaires.
Appreciate that. Yeah, I'll pull up Saturday for sure, man. I'll probably beat you outside, man. I'm asleep.
We'll
like you.
See. We'll see. We shall see. Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah.
What time it is. So what's going on with the management? You know what I'm saying? Team Elmore, we seeing this?
Yeah, Team Elmore, one of my artists right here, Seven Rich.
TE shirts everywhere.
Too.
Hey, you feel me?
TE shirts everywhere.
So I know Seven.
Give me one.
Tell you a little brief history I know about her. She fired in the motherfucker. She do Chris Coleman intro.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Oh man, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna let you handle, but yeah, 7. I like 7.
Yeah.
I like
and
7.
We actually been working on since December of last year. She hasn't released the album, but we definitely working on it. She got the singles, LDLH and Lord Have Mercy.
I didn't say Lord Have Mercy.
You feel me? So we working and pushing to release her album, and then R&B artist Reg Archie. You know, a lot of people know him from Grooves, you know, from back in the day, but it's Reg Archie.
Yeah.
V949.
Oh yeah, V949.
Yep.
And he has an album out
Red.
right now, Right Wrongs. You know, it's doing real good. Up for a nomination for a Grammy. You know what I'm saying? Considered for a Grammy. So we're just pushing this music, man.
Real deal. Birminghamian considered for a Grammy. Y'all here, man.
You know what I'm saying? You know, Snipe Young works with both of them as far as production. Drake does a lot of the recording. Drake the Geek, who located in Fairfield. So man, we just keep it. Like you said, Birmingham, Alabama, man, pushing each other, making each other great. So that's what we're doing right now. Working on the album and pushing Red's album right now. So.
Okay. All right, now Team Elmore Management. One thing I know, because I understand a lot of the history of the entertainment here in the city. Now, before it was Team Elmore Management, what was it before that? What got it to that point?
Well, so I used to rap in a rap group back in the day, T2S, Threat to Society, with Kane Carter. And actually, it was crazy when we were rapping as T2S. One thing we always spoke about, not rapping all our lives, that we actually wanted to go into management. And some things just came up where we separated and we became solo artists. You know, I was the Joker, then turned into Naimah, you know, Kane, but we both manage companies now. You know, she has Threat Music Entertainment, you know, and I got Team Elmore Management, but Elmore is my last name. And it's just like you want to leave a legacy. I don't have any kids. I'm not married, but I have nieces and nephews. And one thing my aunt always told me coming up, no matter what happens in life, take care of your nieces and nephews and look out for your brothers and sisters. So I just wanted them to have something to build. And the big plan for Team Elmore Management is to become a corporation. Even though we'll be still managing artists, but we'll be able to fund different small businesses that, you know, want to come in too. So that's the major goal, but we're building with the artists right now, just making a name for ourselves.
Shit, that's what's up, Doc. That's what's up, and it's funny though. You know, a lot of people don't know the background of where a lot of the stuff come from. Like say, they hear about Alicia's Coffee, they hear about Team Elmore Management, they hear about Reg Archie, they hear about Seven Rich, and a whole host of other people that you work with, but they don't know that. Shit, you the butt nigga truth yourself.
Hey, we was over here talking about. I was at a concert with Reg not too long ago, and it reminded me of the concert you had years ago over on the side of your barbershop. Like to me, that was lit. Like that was it felt like I was on a major platform. Even though I was just an indie artist from Birmingham, it put me in a different lane, different scale, you know. And you don't have a lot of things like that going on now, you know, those kind of opportunities. So, man, appreciate y'all for doing it, you know.
Yeah, we've been in it a while ourselves, you know. Like, you know, like one question I always like to ask artists is, how do they feel about the Birmingham entertainment scene, not just the rap scene or the singing scene, but the entertainment scene. And most of them always talk about the negative in it. But me, you know, of course, I think you can't have the positive without the negative.
Exactly.
You got to have the bullshit to appreciate the good shit.
And they think it just goes on in their city, but it's worldwide. Like, you know, it's just one of those things that you gotta block that out and just work on your craft, perfect your craft. You know what I'm saying? Perfect, get it quality. You know, don't compare yourself to another artist or what they doing or even trying to down them. You know, you want people to support you, but do you go out and support people? You can't say that the radio won't play you. Do you support the radio? You know, you got to support those people if you want the same support. So, like, I'm a type of person, I go out, whether my artist performing or we don't have anything going on, to show support because I want support, you know. And that's the thing that artists don't look at, or they say it's not enough opportunity. Create the opportunity. You can create it if you get your marketing skills down and not try to take the easy route all the time. One thing about business, period, is hard. It's hard,
Yeah,
and it'll never be easy, but you'll get better. And that's what people, you know, sometimes don't look at. That it's hard.
Well, if anybody ever watched the movie Janky Promotion, it's so entertaining, but that shit really educational. The boy said you can't be a boss unless you take a loss.
You can't.
You know what I'm saying? And that's
Definitely.
real.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like if you really think about it, a lot of people didn't attend college.
Mm-hmm.
So that means if you just working and grinding independently, that's your college.
Yeah.
So if you lose $500 here, $1,000 there, it was still cheaper than spending $100,000 in them 4-5 years.
Exactly.
You gonna pay for that game one way.
Exactly. You
or
gonna take some losses in this, man. It's part of the business, but you can't give up. You can't give up, man. So I can tell you about the losses, but I'd rather tell you about how we can win, man.
Can win. Yeah,
Let's win.
The losses, that's almost a given.
Yeah.
So I look at them as investments because, like I said, you're doing them to promote what you're doing at the end of the day.
Exactly.
That's what you gain out of everything.
Yep.
Every loss as well as gain, you know what I'm saying?
It is.
That's true.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
that's what time it is. So
Go ahead. Yeah, so far as I guess with the management too, like with Seven Rich and your other artists that you're working with, I know what the ultimate goal is, but as far as on year-to-year goal, where do you see all the artists you're working with a year from now? And do they have the drive that you know what I'm saying, that you see investing in them? Do they feel the same way as you, or do you have to catch up with them to work with them?
Well, you know, life happens to a lot of people, so sometimes, you know, we get sidetracked, but the goal where we were in January, we're further than, you know, now. And I just see us just, man, continually to be great in progress. You know, where we are in October, we're not gonna be in November. You know, we set those yearly goals, but sometimes, man, we look to those 30-day or those 60-day goals to, you know, to build over that. But the ultimate goal is just making sure they have, even if they decide to stop music, something that they can always fall back on and have, because a lot of people don't educate you in this business. They let you spin, they let you, you know, run wild and, you know, do reckless things. A couple of my artists, you know, when I first started, fell out because they thought I was trying to, you know, stop them from spending money or something like that, but it was just not being careless because I've been there. You know, I didn't have anybody to educate me. So I'm here to educate, you know, and help you build on what you're trying to build on, whatever their goal is, whether they want to own businesses or whatever. Let's get to those goals, and it's about saving and, you know, educating. And we communicate well, you know. That's the biggest thing, and time management. And just learning, because like with Reg and Seven, it hasn't even been a full year yet that we've been working together, but the progress and the work that we're doing is amazing, you know. They have shows, magazines, things like that. So I'm gonna say Red's gonna win this Grammy and Seven gonna be up for a Grammy next, man. That's what we're going to.
Well, that's a good thing. You got to stay optimistic. And one thing I do know about Birmingham, it can happen. I just don't think that a lot of the artists that make it, they done went through so much bullshit, a lot of them don't come back.
Yeah.
It ain't that they don't want to, it's just the bad taste. You know, with some of that weak coffee, that bad weak taste coffee that was stuck on their tongue, won't allow them to come back because they moving a lot further. But I say to all artists here, you got to come back and offer that opportunity, because most people do that in their city. And when you do that in your city, it actually make you grow even further.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Each one teach one. You pass that game along, you win too. It ain't like you just gonna fall off because you help them. Shit, they may be the one that come back and help you.
And that's what people, man, they afraid to help other people out, or afraid they're gonna do this first. The one thing that I've always talked about, I'm from Wyland. I was born on the north side by Caraway, but I grew up in Wyland. And coming up in Wyland, man, we had like grocery stores, barbershops, banks, etc. But riding through there now, you don't see none of that. You know, so I want to definitely give back to my community. Even now, we take kids and mentor a couple of our friends, like Cut Dog. He had a mentoring program. Shatoria, she does the Mommy Lounge. So it's about the community, and I can say those people, you don't have to be rich to even give back. when you have something, man, you don't got to take the whole thing and share it with somebody. You know what I'm saying? And so that's just what we are, in, you know, in life. And like you said, people be afraid to help, but man, that's what you're supposed to be, a servant. People don't realize that, man. You're a servant. You put here to help somebody else out.
And a servant gonna always eat.
And always, you know what I'm saying? That's why I told no complaints, man, because God always got me.
Yeah.
You know,
and see, and that's interesting though, because I know when I got the opportunity to get in radio, shout out to Chris Coleman.
Yes, sir.
I had no intentions on being in radio. Yeah. I like underground shit. You know what I'm saying? I like to work with folks and really kind of stay out the way. But when I ended up getting that opportunity, one of the first order of businesses, I was thinking, how can you get these folks just on the platform? I don't care how your music sound, because it ain't up to me.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know that, because what I may want to hear today, I may not want to hear tomorrow.
Exactly.
But what I tell people, they be like, man, can you get my music to them? No, what I do, I set you up an interview. And you get your music to them. I'm going to bring you, you do an interview. You sell your product, because you sell your product better than I can.
Exactly.
And that was always one of my things, man. I want to see the
and
artist
that's why I
move.
can say, man, you always been that person, man. Whatever you got going on, even with comedy shows, allowing artists the opportunity to even come and perform in front of a different crowd than what they used to. And like you say, you don't have to be, man, the richest person in the world to give back, man. That's that's a form of always giving back, and you always done it. You know what I'm saying? Not just now, because they hear you on the radio, like, shoot, for as long as I known you, man.
Shit, they don't realize that's a long time coming. And you know, it's just
in it, grinding.
Oh yeah, and just like the shirt say on the end, work, find work.
Yeah.
I mean, because if you working, like I tell anybody, man, you can drive from here to Atlanta, or you can walk from here to Atlanta. Now, one may take longer, but you're going to get there.
You're going to get there,
When people say it's moving slow, is it moving?
Yeah,
that's the thing, you know what I'm saying? Is it moving?
Yeah, you feel
So that's the thing, though. You know, I always just believe that it may not be me who make it first, because, of course, I do stand up. And believe it or not, a lot of people don't know that still to this day, and that's cool. But the ones who know.
Yeah, they know, exactly.
And it's moving slow, but it eventually touch.
I remember hollering at you a couple of years ago, down in Mobile. You was actually headed down there to do a show, you know what I'm saying? So you definitely moving, man. Definitely moving.
Well, yeah, I just, you know what I'm saying? I just kind of, I've always been like this at a point. I just appreciate any opportunity that comes about. You know what I'm saying? Like, I DJ, like people don't know I DJ too. I DJ at a pop-up shop. And, you know, when I got through, I'm helping them folk put up chairs and everything. He was looking at me like, you nigga put up chairs. But I'm like, I mean, I ain't doing shit else.
When I saw you did that, I said, what do he not do? You know what I'm saying? But
you know, the biggest stopper in the door is yourself. It's yourself. If you, only thing, like I always tell people, hey, shit, if you don't believe your own ideas, who will?
Who will, exactly.
If you don't believe it, like if you think about it, you said, how that coffee taste, you like, it's all right, I went buy a cup. But if you're like, man, that shit's a motherfucking fat, man, oh, shit, man, that shit run all down in the face. They may say, go on, give me a cup. So if you can't sell you, ain't nobody gonna sell you, you know what I'm saying?
I'm telling you, if you don't invest in yourself, nobody else will invest, because how you expect them to believe in you?
That's
you
right.
Don't believe in yourself, man.
That's right. Like I said, like Master P ran the whole selling ramen noodle, hard ass cereal to tap the roof of your mouth, but that nigga selling it. I give it to him. I give it to him, and you got to respect it.
Yeah, exactly. And like, even though we just launched the coffee actually in May, I've been managing for 5 years. My niece out of Chicago, we getting ready to launch her clothing line for women called Grind Mentality. So, you know what I'm saying, it's just about giving back and, you know, helping, man. People are afraid to help.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but a lot of times it's a talk mentality, because one thing about it, I'm from Birmingham. I've been here since 79. Like I said, got the pleasure to travel, but I've been here for 40 years, you know, and I kind of feel like the people you encounter in your life, y'all got to be a benefit to each other, even if it isn't just conversation, whether it's financial, whether it's, hey man, call that person or whatever. And a lot of people be so scared to do that because they're scared you're gonna get ahead of them. But the reality is you ain't meet for nothing.
Exactly.
What you tell them, they may blow, but when they blow, guess what? You may end up being their manager.
Exactly. It's
all about commitment and consistency. That's one thing you can say about what I done known about you, of course, over the years, to still be in it, doing something, like you said, evolve to being a manager and selling your own product as far as the coffee goes, and being as well staying in and having a platform here for people to do it.
Exactly.
And as well as on the radio and as well as the shows he does. But some people feel like you can just climb to that point, like you know, or you can just have. Some people think you can have the money and just okay, I'm finna do what they doing.
Ain't no line skip.
Exactly. I'm finna make this happen. Not saying that they can't, because they may have the tools to do it the whole time in their head and in their pocket and just hadn't done it. It may be a one hit wonder. You may take it on career wise. Who knows?
Exactly.
But it takes commitment and consistency to get to the point where y'all there. I've been watching it the last, watching it and a part of it the last, 20-something odd years. You know what I'm saying?
Barbershop Stories, the podcast, episode 55, Team Elmore Management, Naimah, Elmore, Alicia's Coffee. I'm back to you, Sam.
Yeah, I seen Romeo speak about it, Rock House Records, you know what I'm saying? Producer and engineer. I heard him speak on younger artists. It's about commitment and consistency. If you're going to get out here and promote a project, start a project, rather. Because once you start, you committed. Whether it's that coming out your pocket or not, somebody committed if the money being put up. So it takes commitment and consistency to get 15, 20 years down the line from what you're doing and still have things going on, and of course to have funds and finance circulating to be able to keep it all going on. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna get it without it. So when you start it, you got to be looking forward to putting the work in and staying in
and that's
it.
That's the fun part for me, man. Putting in the work, man. The long hours, the no sleep. You know what I'm saying? The emails, the texts, the call. I love it. You know what I'm saying? And me personally, I don't want it easy. You know, I want to get out there and get it out the mud from the ground up.
It ain't hard to you, a person like you. It's fun.
It's fun, man.
Pick up a lot
what you want to do.
Pick up a lot of game along the way too.
Exactly. Yep.
You know, that's why I said it ain't really no shortcuts. Now you can skip the line, but as quick as you get there,
you come back down.
That should have fallen like your motor went out in the sky.
And especially, man, when it's always given without you working for it, man, you know, you really don't know what's the next step or what to do next, you know. So you gotta educate yourself and take them steps so you can keep working and climbing. That's the number one thing, you know. Just keep educating yourself and keep going and keep, like even with the coffee, you know, we got a coffee course coming up in November where we taking courses to be a barista. Even though we're not getting into that lane of those coffee shops, man, it's just to educate yourself to want to know.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Ain't nothing wrong knowing shit. You remember butterflies in the sky? I can go twice as high. Take a look. It's in a book. You're reading the rainbow. And as simple as that shit is,
it's stuck in your head.
It's stuck in your head. The more you know, you know what I'm saying?
The more you know, you're not lying. Yep, most definitely, man.
So now, I guess we're going to kind of just swing a little bit to the left. I got to ask you this. You know, everybody been talking about this election that's coming up November the 3rd. You got Clown 1 and Clown 2, Donald Trump and Joe Biden. You know what I'm saying? You got them two on the ballot. How do you feel about voting? How do you feel about this election? And you ain't got to say who you voting for, but what's your take on all this rhetoric now? Do you think it's important? Do you think it's not important? Do you think
it's very important. You know, I've been voting ever since the voting age because my aunt marched with Martin Luther King and my mom marched with Malcolm. My auntie was actually in the 16th Street Baptist Church when it was born. So voting, people don't think that your vote count, but even though we starting like with the president, the election, man, you got to know about your city too and your state because those are very important. And a lot of people don't know that. They always look for the presidents to solve, you know, what's going on. Now, don't get me wrong, you know what I'm saying, and people might disagree with what I'm about to say, but to me, Trump and Biden is not a good candidate for the people. And what I mean by the people, I mean like people like us, you know. Somewhere down the line, we have to build a candidate that works for the people and us in our community. One thing that I don't like, you know, especially when they talk, they always segregate us, you know. When they talk about Caucasians, it's the Americans. When they talk about blacks, it's the blacks, it's the Asian. But America's supposed to be about us. So it's just time for us to have somebody, you know, for us, I'm going to get out there and vote. But I just think, man, it's just coming to that point in time, man, we need somebody for the people. And even, you know, when it's time to vote for the mayor and the governor, you know what I'm saying? To me, even, you know, when that time came up, Maddox wasn't the best choice, but he should have been a choice then. And while he was in there, we should have been figuring out somebody for us.
Yeah, the guy in Tuscaloosa. Yeah, the mayor of Tuscaloosa.
So, you know, I'm getting out there to vote, but I just think, man, somewhere down the line, us, we have to come together and showing even young people, you know, our age-wise so important because it's time for a change. You know, we going through the same thing year after year. History repeats itself, but we also have to care about ourselves and each other. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
If I see you down on the street, ain't no way I can just pass by you if I'm supposed to be my brother's keeper or if I'm supposed to look out for my neighbor just because I don't know you. You know what I'm saying? We get so terrified by that. And they have separated us mentally that we don't know that it's okay to care about somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Without even anything in return. So it's time for us to get back to the streets of educating our people, giving out free, you know what I'm saying, tutor courses on the people that you vote for in your community or what demands that you need. You know what I'm saying? You demand, but what do you really need for the change, you know? My mom is a teacher. The education system been hurt for years, even when I was in school. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we try to give back to the students, and what parents have to understand, they have to get involved too. You know, in the education. To me, even with the pandemic and everything going on, it's taught us that it's time to go back to the beginning of times. So that means, man, starting back over in the homes to educate your kids before you send them back to the schools, you know. So, man, I'm not happy with the candidates, but I know who I'm, you know, voting for. Yeah,
it's interesting though because like I was telling somebody, and like I said, I ain't telling nobody who to vote for, but when I look at Joe Biden, Joe Biden been in office for 4 decades plus 7. 47 years. And ain't did shit but sent a whole bunch of niggas to prison, signed crime bills, and talked about niggas like a dog. Now, can people change? Yeah. Do I think he changed? I don't think so. I think he just seemed like he's better than Trump because we don't really see him in action. Exactly. Trump, on the other hand, is interesting to me because I got 2 takes on him. It's like, and I go out on a limb saying this, I think he got some prejudice ways because of his age. But I don't think he the racist that they speak of. And I'm going to tell you why. People don't remember in the 80s and the 90s when he hung with Oprah and Tyson and all them cats like that. Exactly. And I remember the interview when it was like, if you run for president, who would you be with, the Republican or Democrat? He was like, man, I'd be the Republican, their ass stupid. That's clips. They got that clip. So when I think about how he did business over the years, a lot of that shit marketing. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm not saying that's
he
good.
A businessman. That's
he don't care nothing about it. He's like, are you about the bottom dollar? And I think that's what he's more so about. Now the language that he spew out is a little dangerous. But I think it's more so marketing. And I think he's gonna win again, in my opinion, because honestly, I feel like he's the best thing happening in this country. Not because I like him, it's because he's brought out the racism to our face because a lot of the black folks sleep. A lot of us think everybody our motherfucking friend. And I think by him coming out and showing that, you gotta remember, all racists wasn't born week 4 last. Exactly. So if they came out over these last 4 years, they've been that way. And I think when we pray for something like, God, show us. There it is. Exactly. And I think that's why I say I think he the best thing for right now because you done seen niggas starting businesses. You done seen niggas getting better. You done seen niggas start working together. Now, of course, you still got the food around the ball, but they is out. And it ain't because he's a great guy is because they showed us that a lot of these folks don't give a fuck about y'all.
Mm-hmm.
So either you gonna do it within y'allself, or y'all gonna stay in the root.
Like that.
And that's just like the starting over. My bad. It's just like what you saying, like, you know, bringing people together. That's just like, that's what it was about, man. Bringing people back to the beginning to understand, man, about life, because we was getting lost. We was getting lost, man.
Real line rewind.
Yeah.
But speaking of sleep, like you said, New Jersey coming here, Dale. Dale said y'all need to wake up, cause what voting gonna do for the indigenous people of this land who was killed and the ancestors that was killed for this land. He said, what voting gonna do to change that? So, you know, that's like a boomerang to the conversation we were just having. But it's a lot of people that tote that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
that frame of thought.
And that's true though.
Yeah.
And let's not be mistaken that it come from something foolish all the time. It come from the education and the wide range of knowledge that's out there now. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So you can't always look at somebody that have a different opinion of voting. I have been said on the morning show sometime. You can't always look at somebody that have a different opinion of voting as about voting as they don't care or they don't do this. Or there's some people that work in the community all the time may not ever cast a ballot in their life. May not even be registered, but they work in the community. Are those people, you know, shorthanding the people they live around or the community that they come from? I don't think so.
All
That's
that
just
stuff
what
is
they
needed though. All aspects of it is needed though. That's just like when you go in the restaurant.
Yeah, we hear you.
You got people who bust the tables.
Yep.
You got waiters, you got waitresses, you got cooks, you got managers. All of it's needed. Because they ain't voting don't mean they're not viable. Because they do vote don't mean they some shit either. That means they can be not shit to the third pile, but they casting a vote with no demands, no type action behind it, which to me is just as bad. Because, you know, like even down our city. So, you know, I got to ask you about our city. We got Mayor Randall Woodfin in office. And we see what's going on in our city. How do you think this city being ran? You think it's viable? Because now, remember now, I got to say this first. Everybody say put all these black candidates in office. I feel like I want the best person for the job.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, it's great to see somebody that look like you, but it ain't great to see somebody that look like you that don't represent your best interest.
Exactly.
Because if you done homegrown, raised them candidates, you can kind of know what they're going to do, but when you didn't, they can do anything. And that ain't no shade to nobody who's in office, but we know it's a reality around the country. We got a lot of black mayors, we got a lot of black councilmen, police chief, principals, school directors and all that, but they still following the same train.
Exactly.
They were just hired. They were hired by, you know.
How you feel about that?
I know it can be better. I feel like, man, it's going downhill. You know what I'm saying? I feel like some of the funding should be used in ways, man, that is not being, you know, used. Shoot, I've been in the Birmingham city limits, man, since Richard Harrison. You know what I'm saying? So, I feel I'm upset about the things that's going on in the city, you know, and it's like, how can we, you know, change that? And we can't just look up to the mayor either, but he has to get involved some way in the community, like, you know, with Rex closed and then the different libraries closed and then, you know what I'm saying, different things you taking away from the children keeps them in the streets.
Said we $63 million short.
But keep it, but you can find the funding to open up prisons. You know what I'm saying? So that's my thing. Like that's my biggest thing, man. We like I say, we need some people in office for us that we have to mold to represent us, and not even just a person of our color. Some people that know what we need and demands that need to be met, because the demands not need to be met. You know, they talk this when they running for office. Once they get in office, what do we see? Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
But you remember what I said? It's marketing.
It's marketing, yeah.
You know, and I think that, you know, as far as even with the color situation, when people holler black and white, there's a bunch of beige children around here. So there's a lot of folk don't hate folk. There's a bunch of baby motherfuckers. I ain't
much
too
hate
far
they
away
say.
from it.
Yeah.
But I think
Some loving going on
you
somewhere.
know what I'm saying? I'm pretty yellow myself.
Yeah.
But what I do believe, I think the worst shit is what they market the most.
Right.
So if you seeing all the time black, white, that's what you're gonna ride into. Now I ain't saying white folks ain't shit to third power, but guess what? There's a lot of niggas that gonna bun up with that.
Yeah.
So
The
what
money ain't fucking up now.
yeah, so I think that, you know, we need to kind of start looking past that and work with us.
Exactly.
Now you gotta identify who's against you, but that's black or white. But we gotta start identifying who with us and actually start growing collectively, because you got some white folks that'll die for you just like you got some blacks with.
And I got plenty, you know what I'm saying, like that, you know, not just love me, man, love my family, love the people, you know, that we're around, and even support the business that we do, from the rap music to the coffee, you know. So what little baby say, man, he don't judge by races, you know, he judged by your face, you know what I'm saying, how your character, you know what I'm saying, exactly, your character. So that's what, when I be saying like somebody for us, man, I'm saying somebody that can meet our demands.
Yeah, they represent your best interests, you know. And a lot of people, you know, it's just so interesting because we can sit and talk about this all night, but it's like, man, when I look at it, you know, like I hear a lot of people say black business, black business, black business. I believe that, but I also believe that I want the best person for the job. Just because you represent the same skin tone don't mean you represent the same best interest.
Exactly.
You want your money to spend right.
Yeah, you want to spend your money right, because one thing about it, to me, being what they call a black business, I think we have to step it up a little bit more. And it ain't because a lot of us do great business, but them few that's riding on that tag black business, they don't realize how much you set it back for others. You know what I'm saying? Because I've had some bad experiences, but even the bad experience, I ain't gonna shit on you on this camera, the radio, or none of that. I see you personally.
And
because that ain't gonna help it either. That ain't gonna do nothing but cause a conflict that neither one of us want.
Exactly, man. And I've seen that on social media where, you know, people are down. They don't even put the name of that business. They put, I try to support black businesses. So now we're in a group.
Now we group.
You know what I'm saying? So now, you know, you looking at all of us in a certain light. So it does make us, you know, have to step it up. But pull those people to the side, like you said, and address the issue then, you know, and see how they can correct it. And maybe they need training in customer service. That's another thing about helping. You could be helping them fix a problem that they don't even know exists. You know what I'm saying?
And it's so funny you said that. It's you know, I visit a lot of different businesses on a regular, from funeral homes, just stop by and holler at them. I don't like hanging in the funeral homes, but all the way down to restaurants. And I've had bad experience of the one with the golden arches, the one with the big head ass Burger King. But even though they shit on you, give you cold fries and all that, you'll still go back.
Yep.
So with a lot of these black businesses, a lot of time people got to realize we're underfunded and we're short on employees because don't nobody want to work with you because you really can't pay them like you want. So sometimes you get frustrated. To me, I think they do deserve an opportunity to straighten it out. Now, sometimes you got to move on, but sometimes it's really just a simple conversation because we all do have bad days. But when we have bad days, we get scrutinized a lot more than other people. And we know it, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, we got to hold ourselves to a standard that we want to be the best. Because, you know, there's food trucks around here hitting niggas' ass for $17 for 6 wings and fries, and the wings around this motherfucker look like fingers. Now, I ain't knocking them, but at the same time, charge what you want.
Exactly.
Just make sure the product stands with what you charge. That's all I say.
And like you say that about, like, with the customer service, our first pop-up shop with the coffee, you know, we get the cream, the sugar, and everything. And so we had the French vanilla and hazelnut. And in the store, I was gonna get the one with the milk, you know, because some people don't like the flavor cream. But I should have listened to my mind. But anyway, we had this guy come to the table, and he wanted some coffee, and he was looking for that I didn't pick up in the store. And he was like, well, I would have bought some if you had such and such, such and such. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna be right back, man. I'm gonna run to the store right here to the gas station. I'm gonna get you some. End up running there, getting him some, and he used just a little bit of the creamer. He walked away for a minute. And I was like, because my partner, they was just kind of mad. They was like, man, he could have just used it. I said, sometime, man, in this business, you just got to go beyond other people's expectations.
That's true.
I was brewing another pot, and he ended up coming back and buying a bag of coffee from us. And it was more so that I think that we went out our way to show that, you know, we're about this, and customer service is the high expectations that we seek. And you know what I'm saying? And then he ended up following us on IG. So sometimes, man, you know, they might give you a little grief, but when you in the business of having customers, you got to understand that service that they're looking for, and you have to provide it for them.
That's right.
You know?
And it's funny that you say that, because one thing about it, when you're in business, especially when you're black, sometimes those people done had real bad experiences prior to getting to you.
Exactly.
So you gonna catch some of the heat that the people presented before you, but all you gotta do just stand your ground and just continue to just do your thing, because eventually they be like, my nigga, you alright. I was just trying to see what you.
And
really
that's how he came back, like
for
real. He came back just like that in that sense. You know what I'm saying? Testing. But you know what I'm saying? I'm glad we just was able to meet his
because you bent over.
That taught me though.
And gave him what he wanted.
Make sure I crack that cream.
But remember what I said? You gotta believe in your own idea.
Exactly.
The mind don't lie to you. The first mind telling you the truth. The second line is making you second guess.
Yeah.
So, and then like you said, back referring to the customer service, everything ain't a snappable moment either. Sometimes you just gotta say, all right, you right, even if they ain't right. Because you can build a business for 10 years and fuck it up in 2 conversations.
Yep, that's right, man.
Especially
you working.
You
working. And being having good customer service and being polite, it pretty much was gonna separate you, like you said.
Yeah.
That's right.
That goes back from that training from my restaurant and hotel days, man. You know, being around the people, just knowing what they like, how they move, and what to say and what not to say at that moment. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
You do it on these jobs. You got to do it when you got a product too, right?
Exactly.
I heard a guy say one time he was doing business with a cat, and he was like, "Shit, nigga, you don't even spend no money with me like that." And when I heard this said, I was like, "What in the fuck was on this nigga mind to make you say some ignorant shit like that?" You know, because I'm like, even if that's true. You can't tell a person who spend their money out of their pocket, because whether it's $1, $1 million, that's their money.
It's their money, and they don't have to shop with you.
To spend it with you, and you shitted on.
Yep, exactly.
And he lost.
Said like that. He done spent something.
He done spent something, but he ain't spent what you thought he should have spent. Nigga, how much you spent? You don't even know. He ain't like you kept a tab.
And that's what I say, man, about, you know, just meeting their expectations and stuff like that, man. You know, they don't have to support you. You know, it's a blessing that you get the support, because people ain't got to shop with you. Like, shit, people can tell me every day when they, you know, giving away the free coffee. I don't want your free coffee. I'd rather buy mine from Starbucks. You know what I'm saying? But they rather sample and buy a bag, so they don't have to shop with you, man. It's just, and people take that for granted.
You have to sell it.
Yeah, and then like even me cutting hair, this 26 years cutting hair, 22 professionally, and what people got to realize, when you get off into a business, it's already millions of motherfuckers there. K1's a videographer. That nigga ain't the only videographer. So when he cutting into a market, what is he gonna do different that's gonna make people say, give me him? What Sam gonna do different from cutting hair that make me say, give me them? What Amy gonna do different when she's selling her natural products and say, you know what, go and give me a bottle or two? You already tapping into a market, so that means you got to be that stand-up guy, that stand-up woman, that you got to stand tall, you know, because if not, you get washed right out, because the other people gonna beat you in marketing. You got to beat them with customer service, marketing, free shit, stopping by, drinking one with them, smoking one with them, hollering at the cheer, petting babies, rubbing dogs. You got to do all that extra stuff just to find your lane in it, and then it grows from there.
What's the news anchor name? What's his name? Wendell. I think he
Wendell. I'm glad before he come down and get his hair cut.
Cause listen,
Corey cut his hair.
He stayed at my hotel.
No, she ain't talking about.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, I thought she was talking about the new hotel spots.
And he was like, man, you know, I'm new to the city, man. You know, you know anybody that cut hair? I was like, Beanie, you know what I'm saying? Right then, I had looked up your information and ended up giving it to him. And when I was at Talker, Alabama, a couple of months ago. He saw me and he said, "You know, I still go to that same barbershop." I'm like, "That's what's up." You know what I'm saying?
Corey, I didn't get an opportunity to get him, but shit, he in great hands. Corey cut it out about every 2 weeks.
That was a hell of a story. We ain't know what came from.
Yeah, he had just moved in town. He was staying at the hotel. He was telling me he was new to the station and he had to go on and he didn't know nobody. I was like, I'm gonna tell you, cause my hotel on 280. I'm like, ain't nobody out here for real that's gonna get you what you're looking for. I know this guy, you know what I'm saying, gave him your shop information, and like I said, from then, and it was just good to know that the business and, you know, I met his expectations of what he needed from a new city that still come through, you know what I'm saying?
He was just in here, what that was, Tuesday? He was just in here Tuesday.
Screw that dead much. Down with them Longhorns one day if you watch it. Down with them.
Yeah. Well, man, I know I ain't gonna lie, we can sit and talk all night, but
no doubt.
I gotta get up at 4 o'clock. You gotta get up. Sam gotta get up. So before we leave, though, give them some contact information on where they can find you, from your Facebook to your Instagram to your cell phone number to whatever contact you want them to have, because I love to see you once you become that millionaire to come back and do the podcast. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Come out here and just throw some money in the ass and shit. If you still gonna do that nigga shit, goddamn, just throw it up and make it right.
Come up here, hey man, what's up with the podcast? You know what I'm saying? I'll make sure it's on the Wednesday.
Look at you.
Look at you. Oh! Alright then, look. I'm on TV. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's that good Wi-Fi right there. That's that is now.
Well, my name is Naimah Elmore on Facebook and on Instagram. Team Elmore Management is the company on Facebook. And you can find me, actually you can call me, man. My number is 818-749-9400. Or you can look up me on my website, Elmore Management, LLC.com. Or you can contact us on ReleaseThisCoffee.com.
Okay.
All those names definitely gonna answer. If I'm not answering, it'll be Rock or Mario, who's our PR manager, but we get the messages going, so you definitely gonna be talking to me.
Okay, well, before we leave, any final words?
Man, I just want to tell y'all thank you. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
This is my second interview, just me. You know what I'm saying? Like every time I'm going to do an interview, it's for an artist or it's for somebody else. So for me, man, this a great feeling. I was excited when you called me. I was like, shoot. I was with Rock. I was like, shit, man, Beanie just called me. Man, I'm going to be on the podcast. So it's just a good feeling, man. I sure appreciate it, man.
We appreciate
you working. We know you working.
Yeah.
So,
and then, too, I'm going to put this disclaimer out there. For all artists, entertainers, business owners in the city, we can only do one at a time. Yeah. But I swear for God, we definitely have you in mind. Me, my partner Sammy No-Nos, we sit and we talk about it all the time. But we be looking at who can we get and the availability of people. That's even with talent you need to know. That's even with That's My Pastor and all. I promise you, city, state, country, region, I fuck with you.
Yeah, you do.
But only 1 week at a time. You know what I'm saying?
What's relevant for what's going on.
That's right. So with that being said, I'm comedic narrator, haircut slanger, Benny Mac.
No-Nos in here.
That's right. And
with the
Naimah.
Joker.
That's right. Naimah T.
Naimah, aka the Joker, yes sir.
Damn, Lisa Coffee, the whole nine. And then, of course, I got to run a couple of these commercial breaks, too, before we leave. Make sure you tune in to B94.9 FM. If you got a Liberty antenna, download the app. And you can hear us anywhere in the world. Home Team Morning Show with Drika the Eyelash Diva, the homie Jay, and myself, comedic narrator, haircut slanger, Benny Mac. Also, got comedy show coming back around. Yeah. November the 21st at Roos Place over in Trussville, 2404 Derby Way. For more info, hit me up, 205-585-7273. Also, I got a comedy special available, Mofo Head and Face 1, 2, and 3. They're available now. You can cash out me at $ Benny Mac 205. That's BENNIE MAC 205. And I'll send you the link. As a matter of fact, just send a donation. I'll send you the link. That's how important it is for me for you just to get it. We've been doing this. It ain't nothing new, and it's very professional, live at the Barbershop. Then also, too, we are true barbers. It ain't just Barbershop Story, the podcast, because we like to say that shit. We are true barbers. We open 7 days a week. We do walk-ins. And, of course, appointments are welcome. The shop number is 205-591-2887 or 591-CUTS. Or you can go to the website at BennyMaxOnFirst.com. That's BennyMaxOnFirst.com. And with that being said, shout out to Amy. Hey, I appreciate your help. Shout out to K1. We appreciate you taking the time out to film this. And all the people who come and support this. Make sure you like, watch, and share. We don't mind. We are out. We'll see you next week with ASO Gang, baby. We'll see you with ASO Gang next Wednesday.
That's why we going hard.
It's on.